Violence continues to flare in the Central African Republic. Civilians suffer and aid organizations are trying to fill critical needs.
In many parts of Nigeria, women enjoy the same rights as men. But in the East, efforts are underway to abolish some archaic practices that are keeping women from equality.
And the story of a chase club in Kampala that became a global powerhouse. How Queen of Katwe, the movie, is helping real young people in Katwe, the slum. Africa 54 starts right now.
Hello, I'm Joke Rogers at Channels Television here in Lagos. Welcome to our show as we go around the continent to bring you a variety of stories from across Africa.
And I'm Vincent McCory, Voice of America, coming to you live from our global headquarters at Studio 51 in Washington. And thanks for joining us for Africa 54 today.
Women enjoy the same rights as men in much of Nigeria, but in the southeast, they may be denied the right to inherit land and property. Well, there are efforts to change all that practice, which many say is archaic. Channels television correspondent Eyitope Kutei compiled our report from Imo State, southeast Nigeria.
These are Igbo women from the southeast region of Nigeria. They naturally enjoy the protection and provision of the men, whether they're fathers or husbands. But usually, that only lasts as long as the man is alive, because according to Igbo customary law, a woman's rights and privileges cease after the death of the husband. Agatha Kamalu, a widow in Mbitolu local government area of Imo State, is having a taste of life without the covering of her husband. According to her, his close relative insists on taking her husband's property.
All the land we get, he started to sell them. All the land, he said and finished. He no give my son, and he no give me.
Another widow, Felicia Iheanacho, also narrates how she is being prevented from taking full possession of her late husband's house.
My garden, I used to plant everything. He said I should not go there to farm. This year, I did not go to my farm. I planted yam, he uprooted them, I threw them away. That I don't have any right in. As far as it's concerned, I don't have any right in so that's how.
These are two examples of stories of countless women experiencing the impact of Igbo customary law, a custom handed down from generation to generation. But the custodians of Igbo custom and tradition now see the need to do things differently.
Today, we all know that women are at the forefront of improving the economy of nations, of families, of marriages. So to dispossess them of inheritance from their families surely is affecting us negatively. It has to be totally and completely expunged from our traditional jurisprudence.
The law and the Nigerian constitution provides for every citizen to enjoy equal rights regardless of sex, religion or ethnic group.
The most recent decision of the Supreme Court, I think, is gradually taking care of that. It's only about sensitizing the public, sensitizing people that women once more can inherit, women once more can own properties, women once more have a share or have a say in the land.
To give vigor to the fight against discrimination against women, the Imo State House of Assembly has issued a mandate to traditional institutions to abolish all forms of discriminatory practices.
Be it also resolved by the House that all traditional rulers, institutions, bodies and personnel in Imo State are henceforth mandated to abolish all discriminatory practices against women in the local communities.
A woman's fate is worse when she bears no child for her husband. She is regarded as having added little or no value to the family. But the Ministry of Women's Affairs says it is working to change this trend.
As it is, the Women Affairs Ministry goes into that, to look into such widowhood cases, having in mind that we have to protect the woman. We have to let people know that this tradition, so-called tradition and culture, is repugnant to the rule of natural justice.
Every Nigerian woman is constitutionally entitled the same rights as the man. But most of the women do not know their rights, due largely to ignorance. This is the awareness now being created by civil rights activists, lawyers and the government to prevent the persistence of women's rights violations.
Let's talk more about the status of women's rights in Nigeria. And for that conversation, I'm joined now via telephone from Enugu by Dr. Joy Ezeulo, founding director of the Women's Aid Collective. Welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you, moderator.
Gender equality is a global issue because of the role it plays in sustainable development. How much of the gap still exists in Nigeria?
There's a huge gender gap. I'll call it a gulf. We still have inequalities in all spheres of life, social, economic, political, and cultural. It's actually huge when you look at how far women have come around the world, especially even within the African continent.
Well, certain customary practices, I must say, deprive women their rights, especially in the southeast region of the country. How does this affect women, especially those who live in the rural areas?
Yes, certain customary practices, especially the inability of women to inherit properties, and this not just that will include land, it will include economic trees. You know, economic trees are very important. It will include also housing. What it then means is primarily denying women access to important means of production, denying women access to capital. You know, land is capital, and land is a collateral for so many things. And if women are born and automatically disadvantaged from getting access to these important means of production, it means already they are consigned to poverty, and they have to struggle to come out of that poverty.
How can the authorities and other stakeholders further overcome the constraints to the actualization of the protection of women's rights?
Thank you very much. They have to implement laws they have ratified at regional and international level. The major problem is lack of effective implementation of these international and regional obligations by Nigerian government. So if they start by that, and then they review our national laws and see ones that are not in conformity with their international and regional obligations. If you take all those standards as a whole, you'll find that they are already signposts of what government should be doing in order to ensure that women enjoy equal rights, and there is equality, there is equity, and that there is empowerment of women and girls. Dr.
Joy Ezeulo is with the Women's Aid Collective in Enugu. Thank you so much for joining us on Africa 54.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, his big day is coming fast, so sculptors at Madame Tussauds Works Museum in London have been working non-stop to complete 4 identical figures of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump in time for his inauguration here in Washington on January the 20th. The 6-month process began last year with the casting of Trump's clay head mold. The work has ramped up since the November election. A 20-person team has been working hard to get the coming president's look just right. Trump will be the first American president to already have had a wax figure at Madame Tussauds, having sat for the famous museum back in 1994. Well, I want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we covered. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, a materials artist in Johannesburg. Well, wait until you see how he has transformed an old communications tower with recycled plastic bottles after the break.